You know, guys, it has been a long while since we have interviewed a former Mississippi State player, and that's what we're going to do this evening. We are going to take you back in time to Starkville, Mississippi from 2012 through 2014 and talk with a linebacker for Mississippi State that was first team All SEC in 2014, Benardrick McKinney will join us on this edition of the Stingray Show. Guys, we've got a lot to cover with him, so let's get things rocking and rolling.
Hi, this is Tim Brando with a reminder. Those of you on Tide 100.9, look out. You're about to feel the buzz of Stingray.
This is Stephen Ray, a.k.a. Stingray, coming to you live from Tuscaloosa, Alabama.
I'm Heath Hopkins. I'm here in DeSoto County, Mississippi, right outside of Memphis, Tennessee.
You know, Mark, I'm going to put you on the spot. Do you feel that responsibility to pay it forward and give some kid a chance coming up in the ranks, kind of like Tony did for you?
Why do you think I'm talking to Stingray tonight?
Thank you, man. I appreciate
that.
No,
I mean, look, no.
Hey, Stingray, here's the deal. When you get involved with Texas, it's like getting married to a stripper. and let me explain this. It looks good. It's kind of sexy on the surface. Yeah. But then you get the baggage, you get the drama, you get all that eventually comes with it. And that's what you get with Texas, and that's what the Big 12 learned.
And Heath, any thoughts on our show moving forward?
Hey, to everyone in Tuscaloosa listening here on Tide 100.9, with the Stingray Show, if you don't like it, you better learn to love it, because it's the best show going today, baby. Woo!
And ladies and gentlemen, I hope all is well with you, and I want to welcome you inside another edition of the Stingray Show. And my guest this evening that I'm about to bring on, like I said off the top of the show, played for 3 seasons at Mississippi State, 2012 to 2014. He also had 244 tackles in that time in just 3 seasons with 8 sacks during his career. And then he was drafted by the Houston Texans and then became first team All-Pro in 2016 and was selected for the Pro Bowl back in 2018. Please help us welcome to the Stingray Show, Mr. Benardrick McKinney. Benardrick, how are things going with you?
Everything's going great, man. Just adjusting to the new life. Back in Mississippi, Hernando, Mississippi, enjoying life with the kids and just being around family, having a great time, and getting back used to the culture of being in the middle of nowhere. Getting used to, because I'm used to Houston, being in the city. I had moved to Florida. That's the city, and now I'm back in Hernando, close to Tunica. And now I get to enjoy hunting. I've been fishing a lot. That's been pretty fun for me. And now I'm going to start picking up on golf. So
awesome. So Benardrick, coming up, who were some of your idols that you wanted to play like?
Man, that's hard because I grew up being a quarter. You know, it's crazy. I begged my mom to play football, pee-wee football. I had to my mom to play football. She didn't want me to play football. And then she seen how good I was. And then when I started playing football in pee-wee in middle school, and then when I was about to go to high school, I didn't want to play football anymore. So I was like skipping out on football practice. My best friend still to this day was my high school center. And they would get on me every day. I wasn't going to 7-on-7 tournaments because I wanted to play basketball. And then my mom made me play football. And then I've been playing quarterback on the offensive side, tight end quarterback that whole time. And I always looked up to Michael Vick. I loved Tim Tebow. And then when I got a little older, I liked it Cam Newton. So I really didn't have defensive players like that I wanted to be like.
Benardrick, in high school, you just mentioned that you played quarterback, linebacker, and hey, you even punted your junior season. But what made you decide to switch from quarterback to linebacker there in college?
That wasn't my decision. If it
Okay.
was up to me, I would love to be a quarterback. But I
Mhm.
guess Dan Mullen and because Coach Smith, the cornerback coach, he seen me as a linebacker. I was like 185, and I was like, move to linebacker. I'm like, man, I'm not that big to play linebacker. And
Mhm.
but I guess him being an expertise in what he do in recruiting and coaching, he said, trust me, his body gonna be able to hold that type of weight. And now I'm 260 now. So
Yes.
he seen that out of me. When I got to college, 185, 205, I got 230 in no time.
So, coming out of Ross Fort there near Tunica, who all was recruiting you out of high school besides Mississippi State?
That's the crazy thing, and I stay humble to this moment. And I had a chip on my shoulder. I had only one D1 offer, and that was I think that was mid-season during the football season. We had I think a football game a day uh before I got offered. Coach Smith and Dan Mullen called me and was like, we want to offer you a scholarship. I only had one D1 scholarship. I had some, of course, two junior colleges. It was Northwest and Oklahoma, and they're in the surrounding area or whatever. So I ended up, I had no choice but to take that offer. You know what I'm saying? So it's
Yes.
either D1 or JUCO, and then that would have been around the house, and that was a no-brainer to go and take that off.
What was it like for you meeting Coach Dan Mullen for the very first time?
It was new. Because like I said, coming from Tunica, Mississippi, it's a small town, so you don't really get the chance to meet, you know what I'm saying, different people. You don't get the chance to meet people as a high status as like Dan Mullen. So I just was myself. I was myself. I was being myself, and that what made Dan Mullen. I feel like I know that respected me and liked me, and I respected Dan Mullen, and he was a great coach to be under, and I did my thing, and I listened to him as a daddy figure, and played ball for him.
Benardrick, I've got to ask you, being so close to Oxford, are you surprised that they didn't offer you?
Surprised, but well, I wasn't really surprised because my high school it's a small school, so it's hard. It's hard to get recognized. It's
Right.
super hard to get recognized, and I'm blessed that Coach Smith was able to find me and and come to the house, meet my family. Went to a couple of my basketball games. Um, it it didn't surprise me because I already had my mindset that I was going to go to Northwest Oklahoma, and when
Right.
that happened, my actually my high school coach played receiver at Mississippi State, McKinney Scott. So that helped. I guess that helped a little too. So it came out of nowhere, man.
So, Benardrick, we are up against our first break, and when we come back, we are going to talk about the 2012 season for you there at Mississippi State. That's on the other
Okay.
side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. We will be right back. How would you guys like to try the new mocktails at Strange Brew Coffee House? They have a new summer drink menu which includes a mule, a marg, or a mojito. Now the mojito is sparkling mint and a lime refresher. Now you can find Strange Brew Coffee House at the University of Alabama Strip right there on University Boulevard. Go by there today for some of their summer drink menus which includes mocktail right now at Strange Brew Coffee House. Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. Our guest this evening is Benardrick McKinney, the former Mississippi State linebacker. And before the break, we were talking about your recruitment to Mississippi State. But Benardrick, your first game action came in 2012 versus Jacksonville State. What was that game like for you to take the field for the very first time in a Mississippi State uniform?
Man, nerve breaking, man. A lot of huge guys at the time. I know it's still small, didn't have any experience. Man, it was different, man. When I got out there, it was moving like I tell everybody when you can't compare NFL to college, but at that time the game was still moving fast. You know, it was moving fast for me. But I felt like I coped it good. I had a lot of vets older than me to teach me, guys like Bohanna. I don't know if you remember when I first came to college. Supposed to be the starting linebacker, but he was a great role model. Me and him used to always ride with each other back and forth to home, drop him off at Senatobia, and then I head back home to Tunica. So I had guys like that to cope with me and keep me pushing. I had guys like Zach Jackson and Kendrick Market to all they used to always get in my head every day, work me every day. Man, if you want to be like this is what they used to say. If you want to be like Jadavian Clowney, you got to work harder. If you want to be number one drop pick, you got to work harder. So I had guys like that to push me every day. The workouts used to be crazy fun because we used to compete so hard every day. So that first game, I felt like I was kind of prepared, but it was a little overwhelming, just a little bit.
So, Benardrick, I've got to ask you this, and we always love asking former players this question. What was your welcome to the SEC moment?
Man, I feel like that happened a lot of times, man. I could say that happened doing the workouts. Our workouts used to be super intense. Coach Bayless used to be great. I'm talking about this is like war. Our workouts used to be war. I'm talking about we in the mud. We holding a light pole over our head for about an hour, consistently doing a whole workout with a light pole. There was a wake up call. I didn't know if I want to continue playing football,
Right.
and then practice used to be crazy hard. Um, I used to hate playing against Arkansas because they offensive line everybody used to be like 6'4". Like
Yeah.
I swear they offensive line it's bigger than most of the people in the NFL offensive line. So I used to hate playing against Arkansas. But I had a lot of moments. Welcome to the SEC, but I don't know the specific like
Right.
play or whatever.
All right. In 2012, you had the opportunity to play Johnny Manziel and Texas A&M. In that
hmm
game, you recorded 14 total tackles. What was it like going up against Johnny Football?
Man, I remember game playing against Johnny McGazelle. We at practice against the scout team, we had I forgot his name. He was a receiver. He was a freshman. We had him at quarterback the whole time, chasing him around the whole time. So we had spies. Me personally, I hate playing against running quarterbacks. I'd rather
Yeah.
play against a pocket quarterback 24/7. I know they'll pick you off. A guy like Tom Brady will pick you off. I hate both, but a running quarterback when they drove you all the way down the field, and then now you get a chance to get a stop in this 3rd and 24, 3rd and 30, and next thing you know, we playing good, and the quarterback gets the first down.
Yeah.
That is the most tiring, worst thing ever playing against those guys. And I feel like our white uniforms that we always go like either Texas A&M go all white or we go all white. We always, as players, thought that uniform was bad luck.
Right.
Just putting that out there.
So, Benardrick, did you ever have a moment where it was just you and Johnny Manziel, and did you make the tackle?
You know I made that tackle. You know I made that tackle. I don't
Yes.
know. Hey, what's crazy? Hey, what's so crazy about it? I made that tackle. I remember chasing them down, and I shoe-screen tackled them. And we played another team. Quarterback was slower, and I remember one of my coaches getting on me and be like, "How the hell did you make a tackle against somebody who wins the Heisman, but you couldn't tackle this quarterback, and he's 10 times slower?" So
Right.
yeah, I remember that. I remember that. I have a picture on the wall of that tackle, actually.
Wow. That's
Yeah,
awesome, man.
yeah.
All right. So later in the 2012 season, you got your first taste of the Egg Bowl rivalry there in Oxford. What are some of your fondest memories of your first Egg Bowl in 2012?
Before I even answer that question, where I live at right now, I'm surrounded about Ole Miss fans. I'm surrounded. When I get Uber Eats,
Mhm.
a guy with an Ole Miss shirt is coming and delivering food, and they see a picture of anything. So I'm surrounded by Ole Miss fans. Me and you know Dante Moncrief.
Mhm.
Me and him just took a vacation to Cancun. So that rivalry is so crazy that we prepare for that game is like a championship game every
Right.
day of the week from the morning until you go to sleep. You're gonna see something of Ole Miss in our locker room to try to piss us off. But
Right.
those games is games you always gonna remember because you got to be at your best at those games. Those, like I said, those games are like the Super Bowl. The Super Bowl is so much pressure on those games. And I remember, I want to say the first time I played them when we went there, I had like one of the worst games. You know the game where Bo Wallace fumbled in the end zone.
Mhm.
That was one of my worst games because I felt like I had so much pressure, and I had like one assignment, like some simple. We call it the Husker. Like they used to call it. He'll ride, and he can hand the ball off, or he'll take off. And I kept doing the wrong thing the whole game. So that was one of my worst games, but we ended up pulling it off. But that game there, man, people don't understand how heated that game is. Walking out,
Yeah.
about to take the field, you getting stuff thrown on you, man. But playing in the SEC, man, that shit NFL, that's like next level to NFL. So you get prepared for those type of situations. So
All right. The following season in 2013, Mississippi State opened up in a neutral site game versus Oklahoma State. What was that like of opening up the season at a neutral site versus Oklahoma State?
we played in Houston, right?
Mm-hmm.
Man, that game, man, those it was different. SEC, Oklahoma, it was a different. Well, we weren't used to playing. You know what I'm saying? They had some fast guys, man. So that game, I looked up and I ended up seeing, oh shit, we losing bad.
Right.
I, I thought we was just gonna manhandle them, but our game plan was to try to bully ball them. Their game plans was to do what they do and try to finesse ball us. So that was a hard game to swallow after we lost. But
And of
yeah, you got.
course, that was the game that y'all lost. Jay Hughes, talk
Hmm.
about how big of an impact that was for the remainder of that season.
Yeah, Jay Hughes, he's a great leader on and off the field. He have the best out of everybody athleticism. His heart was crazy out of the roof. He brought the energy to the defense. He led the defense. He had unbelievable work. Like his work ethic was crazy, and he was a good friend. Also, if you needed him, you need to call. You call him. You can call him. Him and his dad was the same. He learned from his dad. His dad had taught us daddy figure every day. Jay Hughes would get on the guitar in meetings, play some songs for us. Jay Hughes he was a great leader for the defense. Yeah,
And I'm sure that was really tough losing him for the remainder of the season because
yeah,
that was another big piece there at middle linebacker.
yeah. Definitely.
So, Benardrick, we were up against yet another break, and when we come back, we are going to continue to talk about the 2013 season and then get into the dynamic and magical season of 2014. That's on the
Yes,
other side of
sir.
the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. We will be right back. Are you in need of planning for retirement? Stifel specializes in helping investors like you in your quest to build and manage your wealth, and when the time comes, pass it along to future generations. Stifel can help you plan for retirement, save for college, give to your favorite charity, or leave a legacy for your heirs. Stifel can be contacted at 205-414-3375. Once again, that is 205-414-3375, and their office is located off of Shades Creek Parkway in Birmingham, Alabama. Stifel Incorporated, member SIPC and NYSE. Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. My guest this evening is former Mississippi State linebacker Benardrick McKinney. And Benardrick, we were talking before the break about the 2013 season, and now let's continue and talk about something very special that happened during that season. Mississippi State went on the road and played Arkansas, and that was the first ever win for Mississippi State in the state of Arkansas. Benardrick, looking back at that, what does that mean to you to be a part of the first team to ever win a game in the state of Arkansas?
Man, it meant a lot for Mississippi State, man. It meant a lot for us as a team that year. That game was, like I said, Arkansas line, me personally, probably had, I don't know the stats, but me personally being a 6'4", 230 some pound linebacker was kind of hard. I can remember trying to take on those linemen and not being able to see the running back every time. So that was one of the most physical games every time I played against Arkansas. To play against them, because their offensive line was really good to me personally.
Yes. And Benardrick, that was also the game that Dak went out in, and then y'all had to rely on Damian Williams to lead you guys back in overtime. Talk about the play of Damian Williams up there at Arkansas.
Man, look, like I said, our workouts used to be so hard, and we had to fight adversity through we was taught and trained to fight through adversity during our workouts. So when he got in the game, then nobody had any doubts. We don't have, I don't care if you from a walk-on. I know everybody can say, come on, man, why does walk-on get on? Or why this guy's playing? He's playing for a reason, because throughout workouts, people trust people. All our workouts was team oriented. It was never one individual had to lift this many weights or nothing. You had to rely on your teammate. So when another guy get in the game, how Dan Mullen and Coach Bailey's, and when Coach Court came, we weren't worried about if somebody else got in the game.
Right.
So he did his thing, and he held his composure, which we knew he was going to do from we've seen it a million times through workouts.
All right. So let's talk about the iconic 2013 Egg Bowl there in Starkville, where Dak Prescott comes off the bench and leads you guys to victory, and then Nico Whitley stripped Bo Wallace of the football. Talk about that whole excitement of that game there towards the ending of the 2013 Egg Bowl.
That's the play I was trying to mention. So I got my years mixed up. So that is the play, the game that I said I had a bad game. That play there, literally, if I was in the right spot that I was supposed to been in, I would have probably been there to stop Bo Wallace at the goal line. If you look at the play, I overshot it. My job was to play the quarterback. We had a DN supposed to play the running back, him faking, but I kept overshooting it every time. If you look at the play, I overshot it, and a lineman kind of clipped me off, and Nico Willie came out of nowhere and stripped him. Man, that play there, man, that was a buzzer beater there.
Yes.
Oh my gosh, that play was crazy. Man, that's chills, man. I can't even say anything about it. It was so crazy because to me it was in slow motion because Coach Collins was chewing me out the whole game. Like, what are you doing? What are you doing? Just tackle the quarterback. And I was just trying to do too much. And Nico saved my ass. And got the ball, and I think Jay Love recovered it and tipped out the end zone. So, man, that was a nice play, man.
All right. So let's go back just a few plays before that to where Dak Prescott gets the nod to go into the game. Talk about the excitement of the players there on the field when Dan Mullen gave Dak the nod to go in the football game.
Oh shit, we said we was gonna win. we was like, we about to win. We good.
Right.
Now everybody like, hey, let's go now. Let's go.
Yes.
We got it. We got it. We in this. Let's grind. Let's work.
Right.
We got a boost of energy, and magical things happen.
Right. So, Benardrick, a quick follow up to that. Talk about what kind of a teammate Dak Prescott was.
I would say he was a hard worker. He was more to me as I want as a linebacker. Like he was never like if you see him or you work out with him, he was not a quarterback.
Right.
Like on the field, yeah, you could throw the ball, read defense, all that. I'm saying as in work ethic. I'm not saying quarterbacks don't work hard. I'm saying if we're working out, if we pulling sleds or we're in a ditch in mud or holding light poles or doing mat drills, he's competing with linebackers, running backs, deep like he's in that group. He's not per se fragile as a quarterback or a punter or a kicker. You know what I'm saying? He's in that mix, like actually doing these hard working drills. That's why I say I compare him as like a linebacker that all the quarterback abilities.
Yes. So, Benardrick, let's move to the 2014 season. That, of course, was the magical season where Mississippi State went to #1 in the country. When did you personally know that that team was going to be special?
Man, just think about it, man. We had all the pieces, man, from our D lineman, Preston Smith, Chris Jones. Man, we had every in every piece. You know what I'm saying? Our
Mhm.
offense was clicking. Our defense, we was animals on defense. Like
Mhm.
we didn't care about anything. We worked hard every day. We didn't care who we played against. We wanted to destroy you from out like from any team. We had no understanding. We going to war.
Right.
But we never from training from camp to even when the season started when we were like, okay, we kind of decent. We doing good. We never got complacent
Right.
and thought like we was gonna do it. We just like let's take one day at a time. Coach Collins always said one play at a time, one play at a time. We never tried to look forward. What got us, in my belief, and my other linebacker Zach Jackson belief, is that once we got to that point, I don't think Mississippi State really embraced that we were at that point and just letting us be us.
Right.
All the stuff around the schools, like we believe and all that. And I feel like that kind of got to some people, you know what I'm saying? So now we feel like we had so much on our shoulder that we had to uphold it instead of just being what got us through training camp and through those first couple of games.
Let's go on ahead and talk about the first incredible game of that season, and that was going to LSU and
Mm,
knocking off the Tigers in Baton Rouge. And that was the first time Mississippi State had knocked off LSU
mm.
at LSU since '92. Talk about that evening and that epic road win.
Man, when I tell you still to this day, that stadium was louder than any stadium I ever played in my life. I'm talking about NFL, college, pee wee football, high school football. That stadium. I remember when we was running out. That's when they had the tiger right for you run out. I'm like, what? Like what going? Like I remember the coaches was like, look, there's a tiger out there, so don't like. Some of us have never seen a tiger unless you went to a zoo. So we like, oh shit. But some reason, that game we was clicking 24, like we was clicking. But
Yeah.
something like everybody had a chip on it. Like it's like who's like one of those 5 a.m. workouts that coach said, if y'all kill this workout, y'all off for the rest of the week. That's how that game felt. Like, oh yeah, we got to beat their ass. And
Yeah.
we was clicking.
And so I want to get your reaction. Obviously, you were on the sidelines during this time, but walk us through what it was like watching Dak Prescott stiff arm that guy on the way to the end zone.
What I tell you, that man a linebacker playing quarterback
Yeah.
with quarterback abilities. You got to
Yeah.
think about it. When we swat 325, 375, he's swatting 375 pounds. When we benching maxed out, he's benching. If we on leg press for 50 reps with like 500 pounds, guess what? He's doing the same thing. So when he did that, that wasn't no shock to us. We like,
Mhm.
shit, that's what he's supposed to do. That's what he do.
Yes.
So
So, Benardrick, we are up against yet another break, and when we come back, we are going to continue to talk about the 2014 season and talk about the Auburn game on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. Hey guys, have you heard the news? The Bank of Mountville offers personal loans of all sizes, competitive interest rates. The Bank of Mountville was established back in 1907. Call them today to get started. Their number is 205-371-2227. Once again, that is the Bank of Mountville, 205-371-2227. They are a member of the FDIC and an equal housing lender. Welcome back inside the Stingray Show. Our guest this evening is Benardrick McKinney, the former linebacker at Mississippi State. And before the break, we were talking about the 2014 Mississippi State versus LSU game at Tiger Stadium. Now let's transition 2 weeks later to when Mississippi State knocked off Auburn at home and College Game Day was there on campus. Benardrick, talk about beating Auburn, knowing that if you guys won that game, you would potentially move to number 1 in the country.
man, all big ups to Coach Collins, man. Psycho defense. Hey, that game, what turnovers after turnovers at the first, right?
Yes.
And to be honest, to be fair, I know we like that's what we want to focus on, and that's what we focus on. But some of that stuff was unrealistic. That was like back to back, and I'm like, oh my gosh, like we them. Like
Yeah.
we showing out today. Like let's
Mhm.
go. Like it was so hard I feel like it was so hard to even make a play because everybody was everywhere. Everybody was making plays. So
Yeah.
it got to the point that not saying we don't have fun on the football field, but we serious on the football field. That game, we was actually having we was having so much fun. It was like we was in the backyard playing the football team playing against our kids. Like not saying no disrespect, but I'm just saying the turnovers just kept coming, and I was like, dang. And and the cowbells and
Yes.
and the cowbells. Shout out to the fans and supporters and David Wade. So the cowbells did their thing too.
So, Benardrick, I do want to go back before the game. What was it like on campus for that week, knowing that College Game Day was going to be on campus for the very first time?
Man, just putting your blinders on. Just
Yeah.
putting your blinders on, and like I said, well, guys on the defensive side. I mean, I feel like the offensive side had to worry more because fans they gravitate to offense, quarterback, running back, receiver. On the defensive side, it was normal for us, like because people don't too many people just recognize defensive players. They just put that out there. So it was normal, but I just remember one of my other best friends, linebacker Zach Jackson, he was like, "Man, they got to stop doing this, man. They got to let us just let it happen. You know what I'm saying? Instead of like
Yes.
patting on the back, like yo, like sometimes some people want that, but that that type of shit sometimes make certain people complacent. You know what I'm saying? Let us keep grinding because we know every time we step on the field, every year we the underdogs.
Right.
It's we only time we celebrating on beating Kentucky. Like we trying to beat Alabama, LSU, Auburn. You know what I'm saying? We trying to beat them. So we just put our blinders on, and we, as a defense, we stayed together.
Yeah.
Our defense was so tight. We stayed together. Ev- I would say almost every night the defense was together. Somewhere barbecuing, somewhere. So we just stayed tight.
So, Benardrick, let's go to another big time game that year, and we're going to talk about the team that you hate the most going up against. I'm talking about that Arkansas game there in 2014 that was back and forth and back and forth. Talk about that game, and especially that last drive where you guys were able to pick off Brandon Allen there in the end zone.
Man, games like that you gotta love. I know the fans love games like that, man. But playing in those type of games, when I tell you, people really, I know the fans looking inside out because I ain't gonna lie. When I watch football now, I be like, "What is he doing?" Games, games like that are what make you as a human being a better man or a better person in the long run because you got to be so precise on every play. And then, not to downplay NFL, you got those when we're an NFL player, we have our own certain group. We barely see each other. In college, it's like friendship like high school. You see these guys every day. You working, grinding hard every day. You see this guy getting in trouble. Coach got to get on him. You got to pick this person up every day off the field. So playing the games like that, knowing that one little missed tackle or one missed assignment could cost you a game, and for your friend to be like, man, come on, man. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to let the next man down. So games like for us to pull it off and everybody to keep picking each other up on mistakes or congratulating when guys do something good, man, games like that, when you get to the next level or you get to the next level in life, you don't go to the league, it's nothing. It's light work.
Yes. So, Benardrick, I do want to talk about the following game. That, of course, was the first loss of that season here in Tuscaloosa against
Mhm.
Alabama. In your opinion, what went wrong during that afternoon for Mississippi State here in Tuscaloosa?
Man, the 2 weeks before the game went wrong. I keep saying it's everything. Like I said, I love our fans. Our fans did a great job. They helped us win, but it was just too much on campus. Is like we didn't make it. We haven't even made it to the national like the championship, and it was
Right,
like we was playing the national championship game. We wanted as a team is that it's just another opponent in front of us that we got to try to beat.
yeah,
1 week at a time, one play at a time. But on campus, it was like crazy parties going on. Like we finna win it all. We finna do this. And to be real, some people got distracted
right,
because we some people got a little bit took the left instead of going straight. You know what I'm saying?
yeah,
And it's nobody to blame but us. We in college, we kids, but we never been in that type of environment. You know what I'm saying?
right,
Alabama, LSU, they used to that. You know what I'm saying? They used to, you know what I'm saying, big games and stuff like that. We didn't see that yet. You know what I'm saying? So we was just trying to take it one step at a time, but we kind of got distracted.
right.
Because I know we would have beat Alabama if we stayed on the right course and followed the game plan.
So, going ahead and talk about what went wrong there in Tuscaloosa on that afternoon.
Man, it just wasn't clicking for us that day. The ball just didn't roll our way that game, man. It's it just it just didn't go our way, man.
Right.
I don't know what to tell you. It just didn't go our way. Because
All right.
we had a great game plan. We had a great game plan. We prepared our ass off. We did everything we supposed to be did that week, but it just didn't roll our way.
Right. All right. So another big time loss, unfortunately, was in Oxford. What do you think went wrong up there in Oxford? Because if you guys would have won that game, you could have potentially punched your ticket to Atlanta.
I think, like I said again, same as Alabama's pressure.
Okay.
It was pressure. I'm not saying we couldn't handle pressure because we worked so hard during the off season.
Yeah.
It's just certain games that it's a thing called over preparing, if that makes sense. If
Yes.
you go in the game confident, then you good. Like the games like LSU, the games like Auburn, we was confident. But now when people start like, oh y'all gotta beat Ole Miss, y'all, Alabama, oh y'all, we finna go to the championship. When you got another layer on your soul, not saying we can't handle it. I'm not saying that. But now you overdoing. Like I said when we played them last time, I was like, that's my worst game because I was trying to do too much. So when
Mhm.
you got guys or me trying to do too much, especially your playmakers. Let's say the quarterback. Man, I'm the quarterback. I got to make plays, and now you forcing throws and stuff like that instead of doing what you usually do, or a linebacker. Instead of me, I'm always making tackle. Instead of me doing my specific job, but I'm trying to make a tackle all the way over here, and now the quarterback got the ball that's doing too much. So it's just when you get in certain situations, you just got to learn to be calm down, breathe, just do your job. But I just felt like we all were just trying to make a play.
So, Benardrick, we were up against our last break, and when we come back, we are going to finish up this interview talking about your NFL playing days. That's on the other side of the break. You're listening to the Stingray Show. We will be right back to finish up this interview.
When I tell customers they come in and they want a good ribeye steak, and I give them and I tell them this is going to be good, I'm going to see them the next day. So my greatest joy is seeing my friends, my neighbors, my family who come in here every day, who spend their hard-earned money with us. Eating something everybody has to do. So, the fact that they come here and do it with us, we really, really appreciate.
South's Finest Meats is celebrating 25 years in business this year, and that was a message from Bill Ferguson, General Manager of South's Finest Meats. Go by there and see them today for the best quality in West Alabama. Welcome back inside of our final segment right here on the Stingray Show. My guest this evening is Benardrick McKinney, the former Mississippi State linebacker. And Benardrick, before we get to the NFL, I do want to talk about your final game as a Mississippi State Bulldog, and that was helping Mississippi State get to an Orange Bowl for the first time in 60 years. Talk
Mm,
about that experience of playing in the Orange Bowl for Mississippi State.
dang, 60 years. Ooh,
Yes.
that's crazy. I didn't even know that, man. No, that was a great experience, but I only had just one bad experience on that trip. My first time ever riding a jet ski. Um, we was on South Beach, and I'm not exaggerating. We was in the middle of the ocean, and you know how when you step on the ant hill and all the ants come up,
Yep.
literally nothing but jellyfish, like
Oh,
ants. So I'm like, I don't want to fall off. So I'm thinking just barely drive. But the guy was telling us like, well, you not to fall off, you gotta just do a constant speed because the waves was so bad.
right.
Man, that shit scared me so bad, man. I was like, ain't no way. But
Right.
the Orange Bowl was a nice experience. I think yeah, my first and second time in Miami, it was fun.
And I've got to ask you because a lot of defensive players don't have the opportunity to go up against a triple option. Talk about how difficult that is to defend.
Man, that preparation was so crazy. And then Coach Collins was leaving, So his assistant had to coach us. He did a great job, but triple option, oh my gosh, we weren't used to that. And then now you got to assign a player each player. So let's say the inside linebacker, no matter what happens, you got the quarterback, DN, you got the running back, and then instead of nose tackle, he got the dive or whatever the case might be. That was so hard because now you got to make sure every play, three guys are on they person. And if you try to, like I said, you try to do too much, it's over with.
Yes.
But they tore us up in that triple option.
So, Benardrick, let's talk about something positive that happened for you. You were drafted in the second round by the Houston Texans. Talk about that experience of going through the process of the draft and hearing your name called by the Houston Texans, please.
First of all, I hope you hear this. I didn't want to go to Houston because of Mike Vrabel. When I got a workout with Mike Vrabel, he tortured me. I'm talking about tortured me in a workout. And I remember telling my mom, I was like, I could not play linebacker under him. He was on me 24/7. And when I end up getting drafted there, I swear me and Mike Vrabel end up being like super, super good, close. He was a daddy figure, he invited us over. He made me after Coach Collins made me who I am. Man, big ups to Mike Vrabel, man. Man, I appreciate Mike Vrabel. Like his kids was unbelievable. Man, that was one of the best. I'm just happy to be in that situation, man. For them to draft me, and then I was thinking like I don't want to go there, and going there, and then it was like a family. Man, it was nice.
So I've got to ask you, talk about what it was like to start in your first regular season game for Houston.
First, we need to talk about me even playing first.
Okay.
Man, it's man, super overwhelming. I remember when I first stepped on the field, Tom Brady or Cam Newton, I shed tears, man. The game is like it's no plays off in the NFL. If you
Right.
think you can take a play off, it's like you crazy. You're gonna get embarrassed. You're gonna be on because some games some can happen, and my friends will text me and be like, "Cause I seen you got ran over," but like it's man, it's a whole nother level, man. You playing with grown men, and these
Right.
grown men on your team will curse you out,
Right.
and like I remember for the first 4 games me starting, I had the mic and JJ Watt wouldn't even listen to me. Brian Cushion to be now he'll ask Brian Cushion and be like, "What do you say?" And Brian Cushion will relate it back to him. JJ Watt wouldn't even listen to me until I started making plays. And now I can call JJ Watt at 3 o'clock in the morning just to prank him, just to be like, "I need a ride." You know what I'm
Right.
saying? Just it's crazy, man. We playing with grown men, big grown men, and they trying to get their checks.
Right.
So
All right. So, Benardrick, in 2018, you recorded your first NFL interception. Walk us through that play as you remember it, and what quarterback did you pick off?
man, I don't know what happened to my hands, man. I used to be able to catch everything. I done dropped a lot of interceptions, but I don't know what happened to my hands. My wife always get on me. She played softball at Mississippi State. She always get on me when she throw me something and I drop it. I don't know how I made that play. I just know I I, I forgot who the quarterback was, but I think I was like a spy, and I seen a tight end drop right in front of me. So I was like, okay, let me just deflect it. But it's because usually I'm just deflecting passes. Like I said, I don't know what happened to my hands. So I deflected it, and then instinct just literally just threw my body to catch the ball.
Right.
So I forgot the quarterback, but
That's
I'm glad I
awesome.
got one. I'm glad I got
Yeah.
one.
So, Benardrick, there in 2018, you were called to play in the Pro Bowl. What was that
Mm,
experience like of playing in the NFL's Pro Bowl?
man, I got that call. I was like, dang. like I was, I wouldn't say shocked, but I was, because there's a lot of great linebackers, and being there with TJ Mosley, all those guys, man, it was an unbelievable experience, man. My family was there. We was able to go to Disneyland, meet a lot of different people. My daddy got the chance to meet Snoop Dogg. Man, that was one of the best environments. Everybody was laid back. Everything was set up nice. Everything was planned, first class. Man, that's and my kids still to this day. Yesterday they was just watching it on YouTube, the video.
Right.
So it was that's probably one of the highlights of my life, being able to do that.
So, Benardrick, I've got to ask, what was it like meeting Snoop Dogg for the first time?
No, I actually met Snoop Dogg at the combine, and Snoop Dogg actually likes Mississippi State, because we was in one of the rooms, at the combine. They have like a Nike room or Adidas room, so you can look at the new cleats and all that coming out. And he was in one of the rooms, and he was like, Mississippi State in the house. So I actually met him there.
Right.
So I met him there, and then my daddy met him at the hotel in what's the name?
I got you.
Yo.
So, Benardrick, we have thoroughly enjoyed this interview. And in parting, my final question, going back to Mississippi State in that magical season of 2014, you were named first team All SEC. What does that mean to you, Benardrick?
Man, it means a lot, but I always been a humble guy. When I forgot, one of the coaches or somebody pulled me in and told me, like, me being humble, I literally did, like, I was like, okay, I'm All SEC. I didn't even, to be honest, if one of my best friends on the phone right now, I didn't even think about the NFL. I just was enjoying college. And they, like, if something was to happen, my friends would be like, no, you can't be here. Like, you got a future. Like, you going to the league. I never even really concentrated on going to the NFL. I just played football and loved it and enjoyed it, and enjoyed my friends, and enjoy working out and all the above. So
Yes.
when I got those type of awards, it was just okay. Like it didn't. Oh snap! I'm All SEC. You know what I'm saying? Now
Yeah.
looking back, and now me being older, now I'm like, oh, I was All SEC. Like, I can tell my son, yeah, I was All SEC. I was all like, I do that now. But when I was playing, I was like, okay.
So, Benardrick, look, man, I really do want to thank you for taking time out of your schedule to join me this evening. And before we let you go, any final words that you would like to say? The floor is all yours.
I just want to thank all the fans who rocked with me. Of course, Mississippi State, man, I love y'all. Love y'all. I'm starting to go back to the Mississippi State games. I was there at the Maroon versus White game. Y'all need to show up and support Mississippi State. Follow me on Instagram, BM1157, BM1157. Thank you for having me. Hey, I'm still out here. If anybody need anything, y'all can contact me like my guy did, and I will be in the DMs reading and commenting.
Okay. And Benardrick, we would love to catch up with you during the football season to get your take on Mississippi State's defense.
Man, get me in whenever, man. I'd be glad to talk football with you and show you from my standpoint on linebackers during the game, whenever, man. Just hit me up.
All right, we'll do, man. Thank you.
All right, man.
So, guys, that is going to wrap up yet another edition of the Stingray Show. We really do want to thank Benardrick McKinney for joining me this evening. Once again, Benardrick played at Mississippi State from 2012 to 2014. And, guys, that is going to wrap up another edition. We will be back here on the Stingray Show tomorrow evening with another show at 6 o'clock. You never guess and you never know who's going to be on the Stingray Show. So make sure you tune in for another great edition tomorrow evening. And with that, the Stingray Show is out.